All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about a pretty wild idea today, the very real possibility of living to be 120 years old. And no, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's a real concept that's popping up where super advanced tech meets, ancient wisdom.
Yeah, 120. Just think about that number for a second. With everything that's happening in science, especially with AI, some people are saying this could be the new benchmark for a full life. Kind of wild, right?
So, that leads to the big question we're digging into here. Is this for real? Is this our future? Are we, you and me, the generation that might actually see 120 as a real, achievable goal? Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the promise itself, what this 120-year life is all about. Then, we'll get to know the incredible mind behind it, a real scientist turned sage. We'll find out what happened in his life that made this so personal. After that, we'll dive into how he mixes old-school wisdom with brand-new tools. And finally, we'll lay out the actual blueprint for how you might do it yourself.
So, let's kick things off with the 120-year promise. The whole idea here is that thanks to some crazy breakthroughs in life sciences and AI, the old rules of aging, they're kind of getting thrown out the window.
And the guy behind all this, the architect of this idea, is a scholar named Tai-ly. He's 74 years old. So for him, this isn't just some abstract theory. He's actually living it. And his story is, well, it's pretty amazing.
Which brings us to the man himself, a scientist turned sage. Seriously, to get what he's talking about, you have to understand the two completely different worlds he comes from. And here it is. Just look at this contrast. On one side, you've got the hardcore scientist. We're talking ozone layer research at UC Irvine, work that actually contributed to a Nobel Prize. And on the other side, a healer, a licensed acupuncturist, someone who's spent years deep in traditional Chinese medicine. It's this mix, this really rare combination, that makes what he has to say so powerful. And make no mistake, his science cred is legit. This wasn't just any old lab job. He was working with Sherwood Rowland, the guy who won the Nobel Prize for this stuff. He was running experiments for JPL, NASA, that proved what was causing the ozone hole over Antarctica. So this is a guy whose brain is wired for hard facts and real data. So you have to ask, right? What makes a top-tier scientist like this pivot so hard into longevity? Well, that leads us to a really personal moment in his life, a point where all this academic theory suddenly became a matter of life and death. And it all came down to this single number. 5. Because 5 years ago, So had a heart attack, a really serious one. He needed a stent put in his coronary artery, and an event like that, well, it changes you. It took all his research and turned it from just a job into a mission, a personal quest to not just survive, but to truly live well. And that quest is what led him to the core of his whole philosophy, mixing the best of ancient wisdom with the best of modern tools. See, for him, it's not an either-or situation. It's not tradition versus technology. It's about making them work together, making them stronger because of each other. He actually has this fantastic analogy to explain it, which I think makes it super clear. He says, it's like equipping a high-performance classic car with an advanced navigation system, guided by an expert mechanic for precision daily maintenance. So let's break that down, because it's a great way to think about it. Your body, that's the high-performance classic car. The AI and all the cool new tech, that's your advanced navigation and monitoring system. Those ancient wellness practices, that's the precision daily maintenance from the expert mechanic. And the goal? Well, the goal is to drive that classic car way, way beyond its original mileage. Okay, so where does AI fit into all this? It's really important to get this right. It's not a magic pill. It's a tool, a seriously sophisticated tool for prediction, for monitoring. Think of it like a GPS for your health, for your entire life. It helps you see the road ahead, spot the potholes, and navigate your way to a longer, healthier life. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like in real life? How do we do this? Well, that brings us to our last section, the actual blueprint for longevity. And Joe is really clear on this point. This isn't a quick fix. It's not about just taking some new supplement or doing one special exercise. It's a whole system. It's a completely new way of thinking about your health and taking ownership of it. He breaks it down into 4 main steps. First up, psychological preparation. You have to get your head in the game. You've got to actually believe that 120 is possible to commit to it.
Second, you have to understand what aging is for. It's not going to cure you, it's your navigator. Third, you've got to adopt those wellness exercises, things like Qigong or Tai Chi, that are all about balance and maintenance. And finally, number 4, you have to prioritize your daily health. The little things you do every day become absolutely non-negotiable.
So, if we boil it all down, the main takeaways are pretty clear. It all starts with your mindset. Technology, like AI, is a powerful friend on this journey, but it's not the hero. Those ancient practices, that's your daily tune-up, and it's crucial. And at the end of the day, it's the small, consistent things you do every single day that make the biggest difference.
And really, if you only take away one thing from all of this, let it be this: the future of health isn't a choice between technology and tradition. It's not one or the other. It's about weaving them together, integrating them in a smart, powerful way.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big thought. If 120 really is the new 80, what would you do with all that extra time? Seriously, what would you do with an extra 40 years? Something to think about, isn't it?